Right, here's a $50 donation from Viggy Nash that says, question, how many hitmen does it take to screw in a light bulb? Answer, what hitman? That light bulb's always been there. Wait, what's Gary doing in that closet? Thank you for the $50 donation. We're really getting some progress on that Hitman 3 bonus game, so thank you all for that. With that being said, it's time. We're going into it. This is Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus New Game Plus by Mobius.
Hello. This is Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus. It is the last game to be released on the PS3 for the Ratchet series. It's your typical fare when it comes to Ratchet. You know, it's a 3D shooter, platformer, pretty much anything you can think of. Like it has puzzles and all these things. It's a good variety game. But yeah, there's not much else to say before the run starts, I guess. There's a lot of things that can be explained in it. There's a lot of out of bounds and all that. But I'll get to that when I get to it. But for now, let's start the run. 3, 2, 1, go. So, right away, we are going to be equipping a weapon named the Nightmare Box and clipping out of bounds. Just like that. Okay, now from here we can severely sequence break this first stage. So, to give you a quick sort of recap of what's happening in the story right now, so we're on a prison ship, we're escorting a prisoner, and of course Ratchet and Clank, the galaxy's mightiest heroes, have been tasked with escorting this prisoner who has 7 life sentences or something, Vendra Prog. She has the power to exploit electricity and psychic waves and all that, and so she's been messing with the ship. Right now we're out of bounds because we use the Nightmare Box, and it has the sort of function of popping out a jack-in-a-box and scaring enemies, but that popping out animation can put you through walls, and in that case we just put it down at our feet and it pushed us down through the ground. Only case we use that for that specific purpose, but there are more on the run. And we are going to just traverse this weird terrain back here around the ship's engines. What I'm trying to do right now is trying to load in everything I possibly can to get to the very top of the ship. There's a bolt crank here that will put on the electricity again that Vendra turned off, which is all explained in dialogue that we have skipped already, but, you know. Another sort of component to this is we have our 2 friends here, Clank and Zephyr. They've been staples throughout the Future series, the PS3 series of Ratchet and Clank games. And normally we'd be escorted through a huge tutorial and these sort of like linear on-rails sort of things that explain pretty much how to play a 3D shooter. But we don't get any of that. We are way too smart for them, and we are able to get ourselves right over here. So what's happened right now is that Vendra's brother, Nefton, has hired a bunch of mercenaries named Thugs for Less and have rammed it into our prison ship, and they're trying to break her out. And they've also taken our friends hostage. So we're going to go out of bounds once again. We are going to exit the ship and go back the way we came, pretty much. The reason that seems so easy is because we've used the camera as like an object to keep doors open. And we are just going to come down here. And it's a lot easier to get to the front of the ship than it is to climb our way back up. We can use this little shortcut here that we couldn't use on our first pass. And if I go too far to the left here, I sort of fall infinitely, but I know where the solid terrain is here, even though it all looks pretty non-solid. We're coming up on our second weapon here, the Peacemaker. We don't use it that much, but it is a homing rocket. That does a lot of damage and a lot of explosive like area of effect. Kill all the enemies in this room, and we are good to go for this section here. There's a lot that we have really skipped in this that I can't really explain in the minute and a half that it sort of takes to get from the start to the end of that section. But basically, the entire point of this prison ship section is to sort of teach you how to play. And now we're here on the mag ramps, and this is sort of like an explanation of the mag ramps. So the mag ramps are they stick you to surfaces, and Ratchet can walk, you know, along certain walls and all that, as long as they have this blue sort of hexagonal terrain on them. We were able to skip across them as long as they're within our range. So we're going to do this, and we're also going to clip through a non-solid object here and just skip a little on-rails thing there where ship clears it. And we are at this end of the section already. And we are going to put our weapons on. Not much else to explain for this. So, I think that's a good time for a donation.
Well, that's perfect timing because I just got one here for $50. That's from Insom Dev Shan that says hashtag Insomniac Dev donation.
Whoa. Wow.
Perfect timing. I've got another good one here if we have a moment.
Yeah, we do.
It's $19.59 from Persona that says, another night, another big mob at the marathon. On behalf of the community, good luck, man. Good to see you on stage again. Go kill it. The final boss, that is. On behalf of me, much love, dude. Yours truly, the teen not of denial.
Thank you, Persona. And I appreciate the 1959. Ooh. So we're on the second planet right now, and we're going to land on that very thin branch there and get underneath an invisible wall. We're going to hug this, and we're going to be able to climb over this surface here. So normally we'd be stuck in that sort of tube, and we'd have to get a gadget to pull ourselves back out using something like the excursion funnel in Portal 2. That's probably the best comparison. But what we can do there is we can sort of just manipulate ourselves and get out. Here we're going to cross a gap by using another function, the Nightmare Box. So you saw there the Nightmare Box, when it popped out, it pushed me forward when I backflipped into it. That's just something that happens if you side flip or backflip into something that's moving. Ratchet tends to be pushed along like he has like a physics. So we use that to cross bigger gaps later on in the game. Here, I cannot really describe how much that's being skipped right now. There's another gadget that we had to do on a sewers path to our right earlier. And here we're at the Miro Orphanage, where Vendor and Nefton grew up, and this is where we find out about their evil plans and all that to break the dimensions and bring in some of their own kind from the Netherverse. But we do not want to hear that. We are very busy. We jump into the abyss, and somehow that spawns purple nether dudes behind us. And what happened in that cutscene is that we got our ship back from Captain Quark, who, if you've played the other Ratchet and Clank games, you may know him as a staple, as a lovable, not very good superhero. But that is Planet Yarok. I should also mention that the first out of bounds that we did got us over to a separate path on the stage that gave us the coordinates to this planet here, Planet Crag, which is an arena planet. So normally level design sort of curves around on itself. As the mighty JHobz once said, the beginning is at the end. And that holds true for pretty much every single Ratchet and Clank game. It has circular design built into it to make sure you don't have as much travel time. Although in this case, the arena planet here is very simple. Pretty much what you're looking at right now. We're going to be using two more weapons here. The Singularity Grenade is a weapon that sucks in enemies as long as they're close enough. We have a fully upgraded one because it's a New Game Plus, and that means one of its functions is that it will automatically kill any enemy that is below a certain size. And the other weapon we're using here is, of course, the Rhino, which is pretty much Ratchet and Clank's equivalent of a super mega ultra weapon. It shoots a bunch of rockets that do pretty much any basic enemy's HP and damage. That is the first arena section. It's the same sort of standard fare for the second and the third arenas. Not much else to explain there. Probably a good time for another donation.
Another donation I can provide. Here is $10 from Dial Wingo that says, from the Ratchet and Clank speedrunning community to you, we love and appreciate everything you do for this community, and we are so happy to see you finally get your GDQ spotlight you deserve. Best of luck, Mobius. Much love.
Thank you, Wingo. Probably do another one.
Here's a big one. Here's $256 from Echo Gene that says, longtime watcher, first time donor, let's get that bonus game.
Hell yeah. I'm really ready to see Hitman 3. I hope we really meet it. This third challenge here is the only case where we use the fusion bomb weapon here, so it's just a grenade that spawns smaller grenades. The purpose of that challenge is to destroy a lot of nests that continually spawn enemies, but since that bomb clears pretty much the entire stage as long as you throw 2 or 3. That makes it really, really convenient for clearing out all those nests. Here is the Blaze Bot, which is our first boss fight, although Rhino makes quick work of it. We're going to throw a Singularity Grenade here to stun it, which is a strat that I came up with yesterday, I think. And that saves an extra second, but pretty much the core of that fight is like it puts up a shield which blocks pretty much every single attack above or below it, and so you need to get around it or wait for it to put down its shield to do damage. This is our first instance of difficulty switching. So there's no manual restart checkpoint option, but we can switch the difficulty, and that will force the game to restart the checkpoint. And that spawns us back at our ship and skips a cutscene and some walking back. We're going to be doing another one in about 5 seconds, because this next planet, Planet Psylocke, which is a fairly long planet, has an unskippable intro cutscene because Vendra talks to you during it for whatever reason. I don't know how she has your details, but sure. So again, sort of similar thing where we're going out of bounds really, really quickly. The start of this stage is extremely linear until the midsection, and pretty much our goal is to skip all the linear and sort of set piece stuff in the game. We can traverse along these rooftops and get to a load trigger that is halfway through the stage. Ooh, that's not good. This dead launch is quite tricky. There we go. And we're good. Sweet. Might make the train cycle here. So down here in this open sort of rectangle is a sewer section. So the way levels are loaded into the Nexus is that you need to hit certain bounding boxes that will load in extra segments of the stage. I'm going to double check that worked. It did. So there what I do is I do a buffered wrench swing jump out of it. When you wrench swing in this game, you're able to jump as long as like it's the end of the animation. And we load in this section here, which is important. I also use the third capability of the Nightmare Box there, which is to stand on it, since it is a solid object, as we demonstrated with the dead launches and clips and all that. We can also hyperstrike onto it and get an extra high jump out of it. And that gains us a bit more height to get up to that platform there.
Sounds like a plan. I'll give you some room to work.
So this is the relay section, this is the midsection of the stage. We're going to throw a bunch of singularities down and make quick work of that boss. That boss was very similar to the Blaze Bot, although that uses electric attacks. That one's a lot easier to kill, it has a lot less HP. We're going to throw another singularity. Ooh, that's not good. Ah, shame. So when we throw that singularity down, it's supposed to suck in the mini-boss dropship that sort of spawned there. But unfortunately, it's like a 50-50 thing to work.
Access granted.
There appears to be a large power surge at this
hopefully I spawn on this platform. I do.
Righto.
Righto. So one of our rewards from the arena section is a jetpack, and since we went so quickly, Clank doesn't appear, so we just sort of levitate without Clank. He'll come back. There we go. He's good now. And then he finally gets his full jetpack once we land on the ground. So that section there, or this section right here, is a section where we sort of have to go into another sewer section and turn some bolt cranks to heighten the water. But what we can do is we can go to the top of the train station here and flip out of bounds and get straight to the boss section, which is you know, a good 2-3 minute time save of going through a very linear sewer section down below us. So that boss, of course, gets made quick work by the Rhino. Like, it's pretty much a constant in a lot of Rat games that once you have the Rhino, nothing becomes a serious challenge. And so the focus of this category is more just on quick movement rather than focusing on combat. We have to fly all the way back, pretty much, that we did just a minute ago, and that's not very interesting. Probably a good time for a donation.
I might have jumped the gun earlier because we have a lot of very specific donations here, including a $10 from Insom Dev intern Ryomams saying, "I'm just a wee PM intern at Insomniac, but I'm super excited to see how this run goes and support a great cause. Best of luck."
Wow. Are there any more of that time?
There's a lot. I
Well,
could go through them if you have the time. We could split them up. It's really up to you.
you know, this is just a basic combat section. I want to hear one or two more of those.
Fantastic. Here's $25 from InSomDev, not specifying their name, just saying hype. Here's $500 from InSomDev Jen, saying all the love to you and what you're doing from us at Insomniac Games.
Wow. Oh my god. Thank you for that. Really, thank you for all the work the Insomniac devs do. Like, every single one of you, you've made the lives of all of us speedrunners just very joyous. This is Planet Thram, which is the second last planet of the game. And what we're going to do immediately is kill this big enemy over here. So there are two objectives on Planet Thram. Talk to the smuggler here. He's an unskippable cutscene, so we do a difficulty switch. But the smuggler is important. He gives us the hover boots, which allow us to traverse along the ground really, really quickly. And the other thing is, that boss that we killed earlier, even though we fired a lot of rockets into him, he's perfectly fine. He's just over here. And we need his help because the nethers that they've tried to release have taken Vendra captive. Oh, that is not good. Might be able to save this. I was meant to do a dead launch there that made it over the coordinates, but there is an easy backup over here. 3 high jumps. Sweet. So normally once you get the hover boots, you're able to go along those boost pads that you see over there. But I don't have the hover boots, but it is faster to backtrack and get this immediately since you can do that from the start of the stage. We're going to die here because dying here has a different checkpoint to restart checkpoint. It spawns us right next to the smuggler. And if we talk to the smuggler twice, not once, but twice, and restart checkpoint, he gives us the hover boots. If you talk to him once, he doesn't do anything. I do not know why this is the case, but I really just... I don't want to think about it. It works, so I'm using it. And now that we've got the coordinates for Planet Igliak and the hover boots, we're able to complete the game. So our goal on Igliak is to stop the invasion of the Nethers that Vendra and Nefton have unleashed on the universe. And using that is, by doing that, we use the tool called the Dimensionator, which if you played the Future series, you might recognize that name. Or even Rift Apart, which is a sequel to this game. The Dimensionator is a thing that sort of seals dimensions and traverses dimensions. And we have to traverse through this entire museum section and use the tour bot and all that to open doors. But since we have the Nightmare Box, we're able to put through all the doors that are usually necessary for this. We're going to restart checkpoint here because we've gone so far out of bounds and hit too many things out of order that the game doesn't really know what to do. And we need the tour bot, which is right here, to spawn in front of us. Luckily, whenever we hit a checkpoint, the tour bot comes with us. This tour bot activates platforms. It is necessary for 2 of the triggers in the final parts of the museum section here. You'll see here, that was one of the necessary ones. We're going to skip that sort of moving platform section by lighting off that solid platform. And there's the Dimensionator there, but we are going to skip the cutscene, go on the elevator here, and we are going to click out of bounds. And there's a combat section here that we can sort of mitigate by, yeah, okay. So if we shoot up into the ceiling, we can kill most of the enemies right away, and then the final enemy should spawn out of the doors there. There we go. So now we're done with the first part of the stage. We've gotten the Dimensionator, we've given it to Nefton in that cutscene that we skipped, and we are onto the city center. The city center has 4 mini-bosses that we need to kill before opening up the tunnel to the final boss. Except the tunnel to the final boss has an open sort of portion to it that we can glide into, as I'll demonstrate right here. So we jump up on these crates, we use this to get a little bit more air and speed, and we can glide down through here. There's like a very, very little piece of geometry that only works when you're gliding through it, but it skips killing those 4 bosses and saves probably a minute of just walking around shooting the rhino at random enemies. So now that we've done that, we are up to the final boss platform. We glide around that section there because there is a small cutscene there that is very barely faster to skip by just jumping around. And as you can see here, this dude's a behemoth. He's actually taking a lot of hits from the Rhino. He has probably like 10 times the health of any other boss in the game. So we're back on the mag ramp section here. We've skipped pretty much the rest of them until this point, since the very first planet. And one of the gadgets we skipped earlier was one that allowed Clank to traverse through the nether dimension. It's these 2D gravity shifting puzzles. We can enter these anyway if we don't have the gadget, because these are scripted sequences. These have tech of their own, including flipping through the walls with the buffs here. So you see that. If we glide down, when Clank is gliding, he doesn't really have a solid hitbox. So he's able to go through things that are moving, and then when he lands, he gets pushed through the nearest wall. The objective of these is to get the little nether beasts that I've just freed out of the cage there, and to send them over here. So Vendor is held captive in this dimension right now. And as you can see, this nether beast will free it. And that is the very first stage of the Clank sections. There's another one coming up in a second. Although I think between then and there, we can get a donation in.
Fantastic. Still so many more to pick from. Here's $250 from InSomDev Grant Parker, who says, so excited to see Ratchet and Clank at another GDQ supporting an awesome cause like Doctors Without Borders. Good luck to the runner. Save the frames to save lives. Let's get that Hitman 3 run. Get hype.
Hell yeah. I'm a big fan, Grant. Thank you for what you've done for Rift Apart. Oh, that was so close. So this second section, we can also clip through walls using this laser here. I think I'm a pretty good time, so I can do this. Although, so this is the most finicky clip in the game. There's a little portion here you can get stuck on, and that can force Clank through the wall. That probably won't work. I'll give it another 2 shots, and if it doesn't work, then I'll cut my losses and go for the backup. There we go. So it normally slides us through. There we go. So it's a very finicky angle that will slide us through the wall. So the good thing about this level design is when you're out of bounds, you land right down here, back at Vendra after hitting the nether ramp. Time will be coming up in about 10 seconds, or 10 or 15 seconds, as we hit the final phase of the boss fight here.
Ratchet, I have Vendra. We will be there soon.
So, let's set a rhino. And time. Sweet. You know, it goes by really fast when you're actually trying to commentate it, but I think I did pretty well there. Yeah, that is Ratchet and Clank into the Nexus. There's a lot going on in that run, and a lot more I wish I could have explained, but, you know, it's just amazing to see how quickly we can beat these games, even with all the tools that we have right now in our speed games. I'd like to give a shout out to the Rat community, because they're all incredibly awesome people, and, you know, without their support, I definitely wouldn't be here, and I definitely wouldn't be running the games. And you can find them at speedrun.com/RAC. There is a Discord on the sidebar. And special thanks to Skrit, my boy, who couldn't make it to commentary, but I was still thinking of you this whole run, man.
Wowee, that was such a fast run. Let's all give Mobius a hand for that amazing run and solo commentary. And while we're at it, please say hello to Insomniac Games in the chat here, ladies and gentlemen. While we have some time, I'm still going to read off several more InSomDev donations, like this one for $75 from Josh Lehman, who says, a big shout out to the Ratchet speedrunning community. Thanks for supporting Doctors Without Borders and enjoy breaking our games beyond recognition. And that Mobius did within the first minute. When I was watching him practice a couple days ago, I was like, wow, he's already in space. Wow. Here's a $25 donation from InSomDev Austin Broder, who says, thanks for running. or thanks for running a great charity. I just misread that one. Here's $100 from InSomDev Herman Miller, who says Doctors Without Borders for the win. Here's another $100 from InSomDev Aaron Espinoza, who says, let's get it. Another $100 from InSomDev Joel Yu, who says, shout out to Doctors Without Borders out there doing great work. Let's get hype for Into the Nexus. Let's go. So many amazing dev donations. There's another one here, $25 from InSomDev Matt Foster, who says, much love from Insomniac. We love GDQ and Doctors Without Borders. Save the frames and the world, less than 3. I love all the hearts coming through on chat here. And the last InSomDev donation I see here from Odin's 3D for $50, who says, I've been watching for years and love everything you're doing. Keep up the good work and save the frames by killing the animals. Hype! Ah, what a fantastic run. And once again, thank you all for those donations. And thank you to all the Insomniac devs for tuning in and donating. Such fantastic support. Great job, Mobius. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back just after a few moments here. Friends, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a $50 donation here from Battlebug that says, longtime watcher, first time donor. Glad I can help out a great cause this year and watch some awesome speed runs. Let's make that Hitman run happen. Good luck to all the runners. With that, actually, we are within under $18,000 away from that bonus game of Hitman 3. We're at $52,124 of 70,000. Chat, we're getting there. We're so close. It's coming up actually after this Crash Bandicoot 4 run, so we got to get to it. And with that being said, we're actually going to go to an interview here for that Hitman 3 run with JHobz and Yannini.
Thank you so much, Zen. And as you just mentioned, we're under $18,000 away from the Hitman 3 incentive. Welcome back, Summer Games Done Quick 2021 Online. I'm JHobz, and I'm joined by Yannini, who is going to be running Hitman 3. I say confidently is going to be, but right now, you know, we're not entirely sure. How are you feeling, hailing from Germany? It's a little bit later there.
Yeah, hello. I'm very glad to be here, though. Yeah, it's a bit later. It's dark outside already, but I'm doing great. Thank you.
Are you feeling any nerves for the run yet? Being just a little bit away. Yeah.
I'm feeling very nervous, but I'll try my best to suppress it.
Yeah, of course. Hey, as soon as you get like 5 minutes into the run, it all just kind of washes away anyways. So I did want to talk to everybody about Hitman 3 here with you for a little bit. So Hitman 3 is the next bonus game. Again, everybody remember when you're getting your donations in to please put them towards that bonus game because I want to see this run happen. I have not played the Hitman series myself, but I have watched so much of it, and I have even seen some speedruns because Hitman runs are just wild, and like Hitman the series is just ridiculous. Out of all of the amazing ways that you can deal with various encounters in the game, what are we going to be seeing with your Hitman 3 run? Are you kind of going to be just sticking to one weapon? Are you going to be sticking kind of pacifist stuff? Are you going to be using whatever is around you? I just want to know.
Yeah, good question. Because I mean, mostly in Hitman, we have to focus on the individual levels because they are so different from each other.
Mhm.
So and the game as well, in general, is very inconsistent in the mechanics. So it's hard to find something consistent that is also fast, which of course you need for full game runs.
Right.
So, um, so yeah, I try to, as part of that, being safe for this run, we're gonna see, if I recall correctly, a lot of accident kills. So that means the body, even if the body is found, it doesn't count against you. Your rating. So that makes that a lot easier. We're gonna be doing that a lot, especially propane flasks. You can explode them and they kill the target, and nobody cares pretty much. So that's kind of good. And I think also we're gonna see a bit of the silence pistol. I think pretty much the whole community can agree that that's the most OP weapon in the game, because you can do so much with it. You can do bullet distractions, and you can body shot bodyguards, which doesn't mess up your rating. And there's a lot of hidden stuff, but unfortunately, the really cool mechanics are very inconsistent, and it's really cool to grind a run. Just like that, of course, a full game run that's not viable. But I'm pretty sure we still will see some cool kills.
Well, so when you're talking about needing that consistency for these full game runs, are you having to also bake in a lot of backups in case something, some distraction doesn't go exactly as you were planning or anything like that? Or with these different strategies you found, are they generally much more consistent for you and you don't have to stress as much?
I mean, they're mostly pretty consistent. I'm very confident in those. I do have some spots, of course. Like I ran that a lot in the past, so I know the spots that could get problematic and have some backups ready that I can fall back on. But as I said, Hitman is very inconsistent, so there are still all the time new things that never happened before. So
Of course.
of course, of course it is. But yeah, it should be fine for sure. But some things, if they go wrong, you just can't help it. Like it just happens, and then you have to restart the level. But it is what it is. Mostly, it's not a huge time loss.
So I want to ask you a little bit about the category here in particular, because it is such a weird name. I'm looking over at my notes here just so I can get the
Go
name,
ahead.
perfectly correct. Trilogy Campaign SA/SO Professional. I'm normally used to seeing new game or any percent or whatever. Please break it down for us. What does this category mean?
Okay, sure. So first of all, Trilogy Campaign of course means I'll be playing all of the main levels. There are because if you didn't know, in Hitman 3 you can also play the levels from Hitman 2 and Hitman 1. So you're playing the whole trilogy in one game, which is very cool. There are also some bonus missions and escalations and very much other content that we'll not be playing, just the main missions at the campaign. And then SASO means Silent Assassin, suit only. Silent Assassin is the highest rating in the game that you can get for a mission, 5 stars. Means you cannot get spotted doing something illegal. You cannot get recorded by a camera. No bodies can get found, knocked out, or killed. And you're not allowed to kill any non-targets. Those are the rules. And suit only is an additional complication, which means that you, like in Hitman, it's a lot about disguises, giving access to areas. But suit only means we have to stay in our suit, and which means we're basically trespassing everywhere. So in theory, we'll have to do it stealthily, but in practice, you're gonna see we're abusing a few mechanics. So it's really just about like how to get away with stuff illegally in the open. That's what it's going to be about.
So in layman's term, the category could basically be called like just most of the like all the things hard mode. It kind of is like what you're saying.
Pretty much. I mean, there's like an additional difficulty, like not professional mode, but master mode. But kind of no one plays that because it's kind of pointless. And it's not really fun, but that's another topic. But yeah, that's basically that. And there are some subcategories actually, like extensions where you have to do like all kills just with a fiber wire or with just accidents or stuff like loud ballistic, stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just sticking to any method, so to say. And yeah, because it's a bit diverse as well, showing off some stuff maybe.
Well, looking at your speedrun history, you have a lot of experience with specifically the Hitman series. You know, sometimes we get speedrunners who are really focused on a single game. Sometimes we get people who are focused on a series, and sometimes people are focused on a bunch of different series. For you, what is about Hitman that keeps you coming back and keeps you wanting to speedrun this game? And do you think a lot of your Hitman 2 experience has helped you in your Hitman 3 runs as well?
Oh yeah. But to the last point, for sure. For like I never played Hitman 1, the original game, but I heard, so I also saw that the difference from Hitman 1 to 2 is kind of big. There are quite a lot of mechanics changes and stuff. But I experienced the release of Hitman 3, and the difference between those are not that big. Like, of course, it's great, we have the new levels and stuff.
Right.
But it was quite easy to adapt, actually, yeah. So that definitely helped a lot. And yeah, what keeps me coming back to Hitman, it's quite easy, actually. Because the game is just like it's just a huge sandbox. You can do so much. You can create contracts yourself, and we have such a great community. We do monthly tournaments, and it's just you can't stay away. It's not possible.
Well, that's great. And you know what? Maybe we're going to get some new, convert some new people into the Hitman series fandom.
I would hope so.
Yes, but only if we make that bonus game happen. So please, everybody, don't forget, when you go to gamesdonequick.com/donate and you're donating, please be sure to put it towards bonus game Hitman 3. Thank you, Yannini, so much for talking with me. I wish we had more time to delve deep into it, but I'm sure you'll get to talk a lot more about it during your run.
Exactly. Thanks for having me.
All right, take it away. SGDQ 2021 Online will continue now.
That's right. Welcome back, everybody. This is Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online, powered by Twitch. What a fantastic interview with JHobz and Yannini. Here's your friendly reminder to get hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. Here is a $1,000 donation from Mr. Fox saying, I love Ratchet and Clank, one of my favorite series of all time. Currently playing Going Commando in my run through all the games. Got to give this money so MSF can buy a Dimensionator to finally get rid of every border. Thank you for the $1,000. Absolutely.